Most people think getting rich is about making more money, but here's a question that might change how you see everything. Why do some people earning $70,000 build real wealth over time, while others earning $120,000 still feel financially trapped? Same country, same economy, completely different results. The answer isn't income, it's behavior. And today, we're looking at 10 Japanese money habits that quietly make you rich. Habits that most Americans ignore, not because they don't work, but because they don't feel exciting. These habits don't promise fast results. They build something better: stability, margin in your budget, and long-term financial freedom. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right but still not getting ahead, this might explain why. Let's start with the foundation. In Japan, wealth is not about showing success. It's about protecting your future. That one shift changes everything. In the US, it's normal to upgrade your lifestyle as soon as your income increases. You get a raise, you move into a better apartment, upgrade your car, spend a little more freely. It feels like progress. But here's the uncomfortable reality. If your expenses rise at the same pace as your income, your financial position doesn't improve. You're just maintaining a more expensive version of the same stress. Let's do the math. Say you earn $90,000 a year and take home about $5,600 per month. If your total expenses come out to $5,200, you're saving around $400 monthly. That's $4,800 per year. Invested at around $400 monthly. If compare that to someone who keeps their expenses at $4,200 instead, that creates a $1,400 monthly saving rate, or $16,800 per year. Over the same 10 years at 7AE, that grows to about $230,000. Same income, same market. One simple difference: controlled spending. This is where one of the most powerful Japanese habits comes in: saving before spending. Instead of treating savings as what's left over, it becomes a fixed part of your budget. Many households aim for 20 NT or more. So using that same $5,600 income, $120 gets set aside immediately. That forces the rest of your life to adjust around $4,480. And here's the key: this doesn't feel restrictive over time. It feels structured. You know exactly what you can afford, and more importantly, what you can't. Another habit is intentional spending. This is often misunderstood as being cheap, but it's actually about clarity. Every expense has to justify itself. For example, spending $300 per month on dining out might not seem like a big deal, but that's $30,600 per year. Over 10 years, that's $36,000, and if invested at 7AE, it's closer to $50,000. Again, this isn't about eliminating enjoyment, it's about understanding the trade-off. Every dollar spent today is a dollar that can't grow for you tomorrow. This mindset is closely tied to minimalism, not in an extreme sense, but in a practical one. Owning fewer things means lower fixed expenses, less maintenance, and more financial flexibility. If your lifestyle requires $5,000 per month to maintain, your job has to support that number consistently. But if you can live comfortably on $3,500, you create breathing room. That gap is where wealth starts to build. Another subtle but powerful habit is maintaining consistent living standards even as income grows. Instead of upgrading everything immediately, increases in income are partially captured as savings or investments. For example, if your salary increases by $10,000, instead of increasing your spending by the full amount, you might increase spending by $3,000 and save the remaining $7,000. Over time, this creates a widening gap between income and expenses. Now, here's something most people overlook. Financial stress doesn't come from income alone. It comes from a lack of margin. If you're earning $120,000 but spending $115,000, your margin is only $5,000 per year. That's fragile. One unexpected expense, and everything feels unstable. But someone earning $80,000 and spending $60,000 has a $20,000 margin. That's stability. That's control. And this is why so many people feel stuck despite earning decent money. The system is broken in a way that encourages constant consumption. Everything is designed to make spending easy and saving optional. You're not failing. You're operating in an environment where friction is removed from spending but added to saving. The Japanese approach flips that system. It adds structure to spending and discipline to saving, and over time, that quiet consistency creates something most people are chasing but rarely achieve: real wealth that doesn't rely on constant effort or stress. Because at the end of the day, building wealth isn't about doing something extraordinary. It's about doing the right things consistently, even when they don't feel exciting. and that's where most people fall off. Now let's go deeper into the habits that actually create long-term wealth, because this is where the real difference shows up in actual numbers. One major habit is simple spending awareness. In the US, most purchases happen through cards or digital payments, which makes money feel invisible. And when money feels invisible, it becomes easier to lose control of it. Let's say you spend just $15 extra per day on small things: coffee, snacks, impulse buys. That doesn't feel serious, but it adds up to $450 per month, or $5,400 per year. Over 10 years, that's $54,000. If invested at a 7% return, it grows close to $75,000. That's the cost of unconscious spending. Another key habit is avoiding lifestyle inflation. When income increases, spending usually increases with it. A raise from $80,000 to $95,000 often leads to a slightly better car, higher rent, and more monthly subscriptions. It feels like progress, but your financial position stays the same. Now compare two people earning $100,000. One saves $10,000 per year. The other saves $30,000. After 15 years at a 70% return, the first has around $250,000. The second has over $750,000. Same income, but a $500,000 difference created only by spending behavior. This is where the Japanese mindset stands out. Instead of upgrading lifestyle immediately, they capture part of every income increase into savings or investments. So if income rises by $10,000, only a portion is spent, and the rest is saved. Over time, this builds a growing financial gap between income and expenses. Then comes consistency in investing. For example, investing $800 per month at a 70% return grows to about $138,000 in 10 years. In 20 years, it becomes over $400,000. No timing the market, no complex strategy, just consistency. But here's the truth. These habits don't feel rewarding in the short term. There's no instant upgrade or visible change. That's why most people ignore them. It feels easier to spend today than to invest for a future that feels far away. And that's exactly why most people stay stuck, even with good income. Because wealth doesn't fail at the income level, it fails at the behavior level.